Good morning, welcome back. So today we are in Rancho Penasquitos and we're going to go for a little hike in the nature preserve here, which is this beautiful little area, has some water running through it, and that is our main focus today, is a very specific little waterfall. This little waterfall in this little bowl that looks really cool. The biggest thing for today, outside of the normal photography aspects of creating an image, is having this broom with me. I scouted this little spot out because I've photographed this spot a couple different times. Haven't been completely happy with what I've got, but this little bowl has a habit of getting a bunch of foam in it. So the only way to get that foam out is to bring a little broom. So I did, and probably gonna have to get a little bit wet, but let's go ahead and get down to the waterfall and get set up, and I'll talk you through it there. What a beautiful little hike to get here. It's only about a mile or so, maybe a mile and a quarter, which is really easy if you're just hiking straight here. What I need to do today to get this shot, I think, is flip the center post on my tripod to get the camera down a little bit lower. And then I brought some Tevas sandals to put on so I could get down into the water, because I don't trust that people haven't thrown glass or anything into this area. It gets really popular on the weekends. You can see there's some graffiti in some areas, which really sucks. I'm gonna need to get down into the water so that I can use the broom to sweep away some of that foam that's in there, because the bowl looks really cool with the long exposure if that foam's not there. If the foam's there, it kind of throws it off. It doesn't have the same movement that's happening in it. But we have, what time is it now? It's 7:33. We have about an hour before the sun pops up over the hill here and changes the scene. So I want to try to get a couple shots before that happens so that I don't have to worry about lens flare coming in. We're going to use a 23 mil. We'll probably throw maybe a 6-stop ND onto the front and a polarizer so that we can try to get, I don't know, maybe a 15-20 second exposure so that there's time to grab that movement circulating in this little pool. But enough of that, let's go set up and get this shot. Oh, could I mention the rock is nice and smooth, so it's a little slippery. I'm at 1.5 seconds, F16, ISO 40. And the trick is I'm getting little water droplets hitting the lens, but I have to get in, pull that foam out real quick and try to move back over here without hitting the tripod and knocking the camera into the drink. Yeah, it's tough because this bottom here is just rocks. Some spots are deeper than others and it's slippery. So yeah, we're gonna do a few more because as the sun starts coming up, there's a little more ambient light that's coming in here. The lighting's a little bit better. We're getting some reflected light that comes in. There's a few more shadows that are starting to develop, which is really good. But yeah, a few more minutes of standing in the cold. It'd be perfect to have one more person, but one more person that could sweep out real quick and then I can take the shot. It'd make it a little bit easier, but this is part of coming out here to create images. You know, it can't just be walk up nice and easy, which it is sometimes, and that's fun. But this little challenge is cool, man. I like it. I've been working on the composition, just trying to get it all settled in, and I think I have it for this. I've been shooting at f16, ISO 40, and about 1.5 seconds, which looks pretty good, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw the ND on and go ahead and try to do, you know, a 20-second exposure to see what that does. The tough thing about that is the foam builds up fairly quickly, so I've gotta get the foam out, get the shot. You know, it's fun, it's a good challenge. I have been focus bracketing. I've been, well, focusing almost like right up front here, midway and then right to the back. This only spans about 6.5 feet or so of depth, but focusing so close is gonna really narrow that depth of field. So it just makes sense to go ahead and focus bracket just in case I need it. I may decide not to focus bracket or stitch it together afterwards, but it's always nice to have that image and be able to do that if I want to or not. All right, so I went ahead and threw the 6 stop on, got a 40th of a second exposure. It's gonna look very different than that 1.5 exposure. So I'll obviously show you the difference. Not quite sure I liked how smooth it was, but once I look at it a little bit bigger and not upside down, it might be different. I've gone ahead and switched up the tripod. I'm gonna shoot from a little bit higher looking down at the pool now, play around with that a little bit. What a great spot. I've been here multiple times, like I was saying. I think I got the shot, but I've left the tripod there. I'm gonna wait for the sun. As you can see, it's starting to break up over the hill right now. I'm gonna wait till it actually starts to sort of hit a little bit lower and see how that changes the scene. It might make it more dynamic or not, who knows? But it's worth waiting. I left the tripod down there because it was tough to get it to stick in just one spot without it sliding around. So yeah, we'll give it another 15, 20 minutes and I'll pop back down there and check it out.